or
Session
get
is
session.
equal to new session.
No, response.get session. Response or request.
Request. So you will get session object in request, right?
Yes.
Let's check whether we'll get are we getting. On this. See how we will get request. As you said, request dot get session. So it's returning the session, right?
Yes. Yes.
So there is some more overloaded method. Let's see in API what is it. Returns the current session associated with the request, or if there is no current session, it will create a new current session if true. Returns a new session. So we should not use this one for managing session. So returns the current session associated with the request, or if does not exist, does not have a session, creates one. What is the difference between these two?
We should not create
yeah.
We should not create a new object whenever we are not having a session. Every time we should not create one for him. Is it?
I think these two statements are same. See, returns the current session associated with the request. Okay, returns the current HTTP session associated with the request. Or if the request does not have a session, creates one. If the request does not have a session and create is true, creates a new session. So if we are passing true here, it will create a new session. Both are same. So if we are passing false, what will happen? Returns null. So if you are passing false, it will return null. Okay. Anyhow, let's go for this method. So let me explain you how to communicate between two resources. So as we already discussed the Servlet collaboration, right? So where is it? Servlet communication. So Servlet communication by making use of request dispatcher and send redirect. Okay, fine. So now So whenever we are forwarding whenever we are communicating from one servlet to another servlet, so I want to send some data to it, like username and password coming for login servlet. I want to send that username to the next servlet to which I am passing. So how can I pass that one? So by making use of these techniques. So response dot set. So what is it? Response dot add. Wait, yes. I'll say how to do that one. I will go through the API. Okay, fine. Response. Okay. So you will have a method like this. So request dot set attribute. Okay, I will show you in detail. So let's take username. Okay, I want to send this to I want to send this to next servlet. So as we already discussed, by making use of request dispatcher, we can communicate between two servlets, right? So let's see. Okay, I'm printing what I set the value here. Okay, so I set a value called money under the name username. Okay, so I printed it. By how I printed it means I get the attribute. So I get the attribute from the request object. Okay, so now let's go to. So we'll make all this. So we are building it in the HTTP servlet. It needs to go to generate servlet, right? Generate servlet. So here we will write one more. Was not get attribute. write like this for our convenience, our understanding. We'll write this statement as this. Okay, let's see what how it behaves. Okay. So where I set the request attribute here, right? HTTP session get. See, if you see here, this one is printed. Okay. So because I set an attribute called username money, and here in this statement, so after setting I get that username, so it is printed, right? In HTTP servlet sample it is printed. So whereas I am forwarding that to this resource, right? To generic sample, means generic servlet. Okay, then how it is behaving. So I am getting generic sample what I have written. So see, request.get attribute of username. So whatever I am sending some data from here, you mean the data what I am sending the username as a data. So string key value type. Okay, that value I am getting here, right? So in the same way, session HTTP session object also behaves like this. So here, if you observe, the scope of this request object will be exist until this method only. Scope, you know. So what is scope? Anyone can say?
The lifetime.
Yeah, fine. Go ahead.
The lifetime of an attribute.
Yeah, you can say like that. Okay, fine, good. So the lifetime of this variable will be exist under only until this method only. The lifetime of this variable will be exist until this method ends. Okay. So request object and response. So what would be the scope of this request object is, so this do get only. Okay. So coming to here, what would be the scope of this request object is this service method only. So it won't go apart from service method. So if I want to share, so if I want to share the data across the session, means in a session, so suppose what is session I said yesterday, so communication between the time interval between two resources, right? So so my client is my browser. So from the browser I am trying to hit HTTP servlet as well as generic servlet, okay, as well as some other servlets. There are 5 servlets. Let's think about let's think that 5 servlets are A, B, C, D, E. Okay, I am trying to hit A. I am also trying to hit B and C, D, E. So whenever I try to hit A servlet, so I am doing some process there. Okay, so I am setting some values in the session object. Okay, so now I will try to hit C. Okay, so if I hit C, I want the session data, whatever A in A, whatever we have set in the session, I want that data. I will get in C. Okay, so here the scope of this variable. So if we are using the request scope, the scope of this variable, see this username will be exist only for the preceding request. Means what is the preceding request? Generic sample. Okay, so generic sample. So it will, so the username scope, the key value pair scope, this username key scope will be until here only. Okay. So what I mean to say is, so if you keep some data in request scope, it will be available in, so it will be available in until the next servlet which you are forwarding. So suppose there is a requirement, I want to keep some data that need to be, that scope should be until the session ends. So let me explain you in real time. Okay. So see, so here I logged in with my username and credentials. Okay, let's treat all these are servlets. Okay, shared, important, sent, okay, drafts, Airtel, and so all these are my servlets. Okay, let's assume them. So if you observe here, so login, my login is one servlet. Okay, so I logged in. Okay, it is storing my image, my username in session. Login servlet stored my username and my image in session. Okay, if you observe here, I clicked start. Okay, so this start also, so whenever I click start, so this should be reloaded, right? So don't bother, actually these are tiles concept, I will explain you later. So, okay, so let's assume that the page is reloaded. Okay, so page won't reload. See, only this part will be reloaded. So this remains same. Okay, so whenever I click on important, so it is different servlet, right? So that servlet also has my image and username. Okay, whenever
session remains the same.
Yeah, session remains the same. Suppose, let's see. Okay, I will remove all the browser data. What will happen here? Any assumptions if I remove all these things? You observe here 2 to 3 minutes, not 2, so only 1 minute. So this part will be logged off. See, what I did, I removed the cookies. Okay, if I click anything after removing my browser cache, if I click anything, so or else if I reload it, it will redirect to login page. See, it came to login page. So it's so
see,
there is
it lost the session.
Yes, it lost the session. How it lost the session? Cookies are removed. Okay, if the cookies are removed, so the session scope, the connection will be lost. Session is lost. Session is lost means connection is lost.
So sessions are maintained using cookies.
Cookies. Yesterday we discussed it, right? In detail we have discussed.
Yes.
Yesterday. So maintaining. So this Google guys or any guy, so any person will be maintaining a session. By making use of cookies only. Okay. How it will see is, so there is one more beautiful method like, so I will say, so whenever we are discussing HTTP session object in detail, I will say. So so you understood what is session and what are cookies now, right? What is session management? So if session is removed, all the data I have stored in session is gone, right? What is the data this Google has stored so far? my image and my username, right?
Yes.
So that is gone. So if I relogged in, so then it will store again. Okay, it is going to some other URL. It is moving to some other URL. If you observe the URL here, so it is redirecting to some URLs. Okay, so this is called session scope, request scope. So as I already said, the request scope will be until the next servlet, which we are forwarding. But whereas session scope, it will be across the servlet until the session ends. Okay, so I set the example, the Gmail. So until the session ends, my image and my username will exist in the topmost here. How it is maintained? Only login servlet will get the image URL and username and stores in session object.
Session object.
Even though if you do any operations here, it remains same. Means if you go to any servlets, it remains same because it is maintaining in session scope and storing some data in session scope. So that is the difference between request scope and session scope. So these scopes are very important. In JSP, we have many scopes, it seems. So we have some scopes in JSP also. Okay, we'll discuss later. Okay, so you understood what is session scope and what is request scope, right? There won't be any response scope. Okay, so it will be only request and session. So how to set some data in session? Okay, let's see how to set some data in session. Okay, so first of all, we need to get session object, HTTP session. From where we can get session. Okay, from the request object we can get the session. Okay, as I said, how the server is capable. So see here, I removed the cookies and tried for some operation. Then what happened? It has redirected to login page. So I will explain you that concept, how the server knows your session ends. Okay, so how the server knows? So server will write a code like this. If so, this is you think that this HTTP servlet sample servlet. So whenever you click on send mails, okay, you assume that it will come to this part. Okay, let's assume. Okay, so that servlet, how he will write mails.
So before ending the session, it will kill the data whatever it stored earlier. Is it how it before before ending the session, it will kill the data whatever stored earlier at the time of session starting.
Yes, yes, that only. Yeah, that
I hardly remember.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So, so the scope of your answer is only servlets and client. Am I right? If you observe whatever I have discussed so far, the scope of your answer is before killing. What you said?
Before ending the session, it will kill the whatever the data it stored earlier. I mean at the time of starting of session.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Yeah,
the scope of your answer is between servlets and your client, like browser.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what if my question is, how the server knows your request is new or old? Okay, have
Yeah,
you got my point?
yeah, yes, yes,
So,
yes.
how
Yeah.
the server knows your request is new or old?
So the request should contain session object.
Session object. Okay, my request
So that
got session object. So in session object, it should give some methods like is new,
yeah,
kind of thing, right?
post
Let's
back or yeah.
let's hope whether it, yeah, is new is there. That is enough. So this sent mail servlet guy, so whoever developing this sent mail servlet, so he will write like this first.
Okay. So
If
it is checking whether it is new session or the existing session.
He will write like the servlet like this. If it is not new servlet only, get all sent mails. Okay?
Yeah.
Else,
Redirect to login page.
that's it. Okay? This is how server will maintain the session
Object. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the connectivity between the client and
Client and yes.
right. So you understood this. This is very important. Is new. I have written many times. So every servlet what I have written. So I need to do this pseudocode. I need to write this pseudocode. I need to get that one. If it is new session only, I need to process all my method. If not, fail. Okay. Fine. So let's go to the session object. So we have to go through all these document. So it would be very simple. We can easily understand what is session and everything. So it's better if you remember this first statement in every documentation, every class. Okay. So let's go to the methods what it has. Okay, it has get attribute. As I showed you in request.set attribute and request.get attribute, it has get attribute. It is so where we will use this get attribute. Okay, we'll explain. So get attribute names. Okay, we'll get suppose if I added multiple values to the, if I set multiple attributes to the session object, okay, first value is name, second value is password, third value is address. So what this method should return means, get attribute names means, it will return only names enumeration object. Okay, names enumeration object means I will get in the response I will get name, username, password and address. Okay, fine. So creation time, get creation time. So when this session is created, okay, that time. Okay, this is also very important, guys. So there might be a scenario called, okay, so I should also write, so I should also check this one. Let's so I will create a data object, new data. It takes a long value, so I can get the create session time. Okay, so this date would be older than current date, right? Okay, now I will write a code in such a, so like this. Okay, current date minus, let's take, this is a session date. If it is greater than 10 minutes, okay, if it is greater than 10 minutes, login screen showing the user that he is timed out. Okay, if you so in the real world, if you observe, some sites will behave like this. So this Gmail won't behave like this. Okay, some sites will behave like this. If you there will be a idle session timeout. Okay, if you log into some website, so hold for 10 to 15 minutes or 30 minutes. Okay, so you come back and see your page. Then what will happen? So you will be redirecting to login page. So automatically you will be if you perform any operation in that site, automatically it will redirect to your login page. So in the login page, some header you will show your session is timed out. Please log in again. So do you want me show you that example? Anyone?
No.
Yes. Huh?
English
We come across.
service
Yeah, we already.
The better thing is if you go to irctc.co.in. Okay, this is the wonderful site for security and session management. Okay, let's go here. So we'll come back later in 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and we will do some operation. What will happen? We will see real time. Okay. Fine.
Generally,
So,
banking sites will be having the same kind of HTTP session management regarding the time. More time of inactivity means the account is
so
automatically logged out.
yeah, automatically, if I perform any operation, it will directly move to login screen. I will show you. Let's write. Okay, so I will write this kind of thing. So for that purpose, this get creation time is used. Session.get creation time is used. Okay, so now come to ID. So yesterday we have used this thing, right? Get session ID. So there will be some unique ID across the server only, not across the board. Okay. So for this session, there would be, it would maintain some unique ID across the server. Okay. Right. Last access time. So this is also very important thing. So my apology. So you will take last access time, not the creation time. Right? Am I right?
Yes.
Because creation time, he can create and he can operate. Okay, if you take the creation time, you can allow him only 10 minutes. So if you do like this means, so last access time means, this is my idle time. I haven't accessed my, my website until this. So then I can time out him.
Yes, yes.
Okay, fine. Okay, get max interval time. So there will be a lot of methods you can go through. So see here, what is this? Get value. It is deprecated. So what is meant by deprecated? Deprecated means it is no more used. Instead of, you can use this one. Okay. So until 2.2 version, it is deprecated. So there won't be any support for these methods. So instead, you can use this one. Fine. And invalidate. What is invalidate? When this invalidate can be called? Any ideas?
Whenever the session time ends.
No? Any ideas? Any more answers?
Whenever we log out.
Yes, exactly. Whenever you logged out, so the servlet need to be invalidated. The session need to be invalidated. It will write a code like this. So suppose let's think this is my logout servlet. So you have clicked. So here, what is the thing? So if I click this button, it will go to my one servlet called logout servlet. See, if you observe here, https mail.google.com at the bottom. So at the bottom here it will display. You observe. So if https://mail.google.com/mail/logout. Okay? Okay or not?
Yes.
Okay. Have you? Okay, fine. So it is going to logout servlet, right? So there, what the code should be? A simple code, right? Everything, whatever the logout servlet means, it is a simple code and it's a standard code. Every logout servlet will behave like this: session dot invalidate. That's all.
We have to use the same function in the is new. I mean, while using the date variable also, right? Because whenever the session is timed out, we have to invalidate the session.
No need. I'm redirecting to login screen. Oh yeah. You mean that thing, right? Okay.
Yes.
So I'm invalidating the session. So I need to do this. Yeah, correct. So you are following good. So I have to invalidate this thing. So if because that data would be there.
Because if we just redirect to the login page, we may still have the session. I mean, ID and password in the session variable. It can directly log in back without
without giving credentials again. If we push a backspace button in the browser, it could go to the session. It could restart the session.
And there are some. So can you please do one thing? You all guys. Okay, I'm getting a lot of disturbance. So other guys will be disturbed. Okay, fine. So as someone said, so the last answer. Can you explain me one more time?
No, if there is even after timing out, if there is a session data stored, if it doesn't invalidate the session object, if we we can go back by using browser keys, backspace. It can go to the previous page.
Okay. Yeah, the same.
Yeah, if we didn't invalidate while getting timed out, we could session variable will be there.
Let's see whether it happened. Okay. I will sign out. As our assumption, signed out from my account, right? I will click back button. What will happen? What happened? It is still remaining in the same screen.
Yeah, it won't go back because it should have invalidated the session.
It should have valid session.
So in every page that is Gmail using, we have a validate function that they are using for every session.
Yes. We also have a valid. It should have. Is valid.
What I'm saying is, whenever it is killing itself
Yeah.
by keeping it idle for some time,
Yes.
it should done the same thing, like invalidating the session. Otherwise, whenever we press the backspace button, it could get to that page again.
Okay, I think some disturbance is there.
Yeah. There are other questions from my end. Raghav.
Okay, fine.
I, yeah.
Okay, fine. So after your completion, please be on mute. Okay. Fine.
Yes, yeah. I'm doing
Okay.
it.
The same thing. Whatever you said, it's very correct. Okay. So so we discussed all the session object methods, right? So
is there any function to validate it?
yeah, that only I am seeing whether it is there or not is valid.
Because
So
that is what exactly Gmail is doing every time.
Yes. So
No, we are isNew is the similar method, isn't it? isNew is checking whether it is an existing session or is a new session.
yes, exactly. We'll go to isNew. What is isNew? Returns true if the client does not yet know about the session, or if the client chooses not to join the session. For example, if the server used the cookie-based session, the client has disabled the use of cookies, then the session would be new for each request. See, okay, in the example, it is defined. So, if the server used only cookie-based sessions, okay, there would be some different kinds of sessions, it seems. So, cookie-based. We already discussed this cookie-based. What are these cookie-based? So, I logged into my Gmail account, I removed all the cookies, then I tried to do some operations. What it did, it redirected to login page again, right? That is called cookie-based sessions, okay? And the client has disabled the use of cookies. So, if I disable the use of cookies means, so from in the browser there would be some option called
Enable cookies.
Right? I can disable the cookie somewhere here. Okay, like this. So here, do not allow the site to run JavaScript. In the same way, some cookies so pop up. Location. Somewhere it will be. So you can okay, see cookies, right? So allow local data to be set. Okay, manage exceptions. Okay, wait. So block third-party cookies and site data. If you click here, so you won't be logged in permanently. Every time, whenever you click login, it will stay in that page only. Right? It's saying the same thing. So the client has disabled the use of cookies. I disabled the use of cookies there, right? Then the session would be new for each request. If it is new for each request, if it is new for inbox servlet or sent mail servlet or outbox,
Yeah.
it will read as new servlet and it will redirect to login page.
Login page, yeah, every time.
So, but user don't understand what will happen, what is happening behind the screen, right? So user,
If the website is using cookie-based session.
every website will use only cookie-based. So it will. So apart from cookie-based, I don't know the technical words apart from cookie base. I think there isn't anything apart from cookie base. Every browser should maintain cookies. So if you disable that thing and start your Gmail, okay, so this site might have some capability to display a message called that you have disabled your cookies. Please enable it. Yes,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
might
yeah.
some site,
I tried sometimes. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So actually, see why it is displaying that message. Who thought of displaying that message? Okay, so the issue is like this. Okay, I disabled my cookies and I start to log in. As a user, I start to log in. Okay, it is not allowing to go in the page. I will complain to the support team. So why I am not able to log in? Okay, they will respond to that one, and they will say they will try some trial and errors, and they will say, sir, you have disabled the cookies in browser, so that's why you are not able to log in to your screen. The support guy will say like that. So by getting all these kinds of support tickets, means I am calling. So every person will call, right? So if I am not displaying a message like your browser is so your browser is not enabled the cookies, please enable it. If I am not displaying a message here, so what will happen? Everyone will call the support team, right? So what this server, so after getting these support tickets only, they came to know that, so yeah, browser will have some cookie management thing. So we need to develop our website in such a way that if browser disables cookies, I need to display some message at the top to enable it. User to display a message like this. So user, please enable the cookies for logging into my website. So they thought like this. Okay, no one knows first of all only, right? The first, while developing the site, they don't know what is happening. After coming to this experience, they came to know that browser has some cookies. So before logging in, we need to say the user that you need to enable the cookies, right? Okay, fine. So the same explanation he has given here. The client has disabled the cookies. That session would be new for every request. If it is new, it will directly redirect to login screen only. But user doesn't know what happened behind the context, right? It will do the same thing. Fine. Okay, fine. So now let's try to make some operation here. See, it redirect to login page, right? Have you observed, everyone?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Why it is redirected?
It lost the
The
session.
session is timed out, the idle session. So you will have to term it as idle session.
Yeah.
Okay? Fine. So we discussed the entire. So no. We still have something, right? How to add the data. The simple, same as
Session.set attribute.
that attribute. Same as this. Okay? So you can understand. Same as this. Say session.get attribute, session.get set attribute, and session.get attribute. Okay? The same thing. Okay, we have done this part. So, but still these two are remaining. We'll explain to you once we will get to form print kind of thing. Okay, fine. So I don't know why this session is too draggy. I'm unable to complete this basics until still it is session 6. Okay, I will try to plan the 1 hour session. Okay, I'll plan it accordingly and I will see. Okay, coming to filter. Okay, so what is filter? See, its definition is object that is invoked at the pre-processing and post-processing of the request. In the definition only, so not in the definition, in the name itself, you can observe filter. What is filter? Water filter. So what it filters? Water purifier. Suppose if you take water purifier, what it filters? It filters all the dust from the water. Okay. So coming to servlet terminology, now you can anyone explain what is filter? Anyone?
It might filter unwanted things.
So can I keep all this code in filter? And I can, so filter is also a pluggable, right? Okay, so I will explain you these 2 points. Okay, if I keep all these login and session validations in filter, what will happen? So filter means that is, so now let's assume that filter means it is some kind of filter, some kind of class. Okay, before coming to this servlet execution, this do get, that class need to be called, that class method need to be called. Okay, there we will write this one. If it is not a new session, we will redirect to login page. There we will write this kind of code. Okay, means the session management is filtered from this HTTP servlet sample. Okay, we have taken all this code and kept in filter. So there we are maintaining session handling. So Gmail, what it will do, it will write a filter in such a way that to manage session. Okay, so to manage session, so it won't write all this code in every servlet. Gmail is writing all this code, so Gmail should not, so it won't write all this 10 lines of code in every servlet, like sent mail servlet and like inbox mail servlet or draft mail servlet. So it won't write all this code in every servlet. It will simple write a filter. Okay, write a filter, and before calling to that servlet, it will configure its servlet like in such a way that before calling to my servlet, it needs to pass to this servlet. Session management servlet. Session management, sorry, filter. Have you understood? Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
No, I'm not.
Okay, I got some no answer, right? Shall I repeat one more time?
Yeah, please one.
Okay, I'll take some. One more example. Okay, fine. So if you observe here, so let's treat inbox servlet, start servlet, important servlet, and sent mail servlet, draft servlet. There are 5 servlets. So what I said previously while discussing session, session invalid, new, creation time, idle session. You all understood all these things, right? All this code. Okay. So inbox servlet. Coming to inbox servlet. So I will write one inbox servlet. I will place all this code. I have to write all this code, right? For managing session. So I will see whether it is new session. If it is new session, if it is not new session only, I will get all the mails. So if it is new session, I will redirect. I will also check whether it is the current idle time is more than 10 minutes. How I will say, I will check last accessed time. Session dot last accessed time will give the last accessed time of that session. So, and my current time minus last accessed time. So if it is more than 10 minutes, I need to redirect. So all this data I have to write in my inbox mail servlet. Whenever I click this inbox mail, so see, if you observe at the bottom, the URL will be changed for everything. Inbox. Okay. Tar, important, tent, drafts, circle. Okay. All the things are changing, right? So inbox servlet. In my inbox mail servlet, I need to write the session management code. 10 lines of code in the inbox mail.x servlet. So in important mail servlet also, I need to write all this code. Okay. So in drafts also, I need to write all this code. So the same code I am repeating in all the servlets. So let's think of it. So why I am repeating all this code in every servlet? So this some guy who has given this servlet specification, some guy has thought that, so whether can't I make it as a reusable code? So okay, so can't I make it as a reusable code? How can I make it as a reusable code? They thought of they thought many so many things they have thought, okay, and they have come up with a filter concept. So if I write all this code in any filter, and I make that filter pluggable to all the servlets, see, pluggable to all these servlets, I can manage session, right? So there is code reusability and filter is also there. See, software is a human mistake, right? So writing code, so we are writing code, not computers. So we are ordering my computer to do this operation, right? So there might be some mistake. So there might be some mistake whenever we are writing this code, right? Human errors. You will call it as human errors. Okay, there are many advantages. You can skip the human errors if you make use of filter. So I need to. So some guy will think like this. I need to make a filter, so which I can avoid zero human errors. So there should not be any human errors. If I write once the code, it should be pluggable to all the resource, right? All the servlets. It should be pluggable to all the servlet. I should make that servlet before calling to that servlet. It needs to pass to. I should configure that servlet in such a way that before executing that servlet, I need to some filter need to be called, right? Before executing to this servlet, some filter need to be called. So filter is some resource, some X resource. So now, have you understood now?
So simply filter is a collection of servlet methods which can be reusable across the servlets.
Exactly. So filter is nothing but the word itself specifies water purifier. Okay, water purifier, what it will do? It will filter all the dust and dust particles in the I got the explanation, detailed explanation. In the olden days, So there are no filters. How our mother and how our, not mother, grandmother and grandfather used to filter the water? Any idea?
They used to boil it.
Okay, after boiling, what they will do?
Cloth.
They'll use the
So
cloth.
here, cloth is a filter to the water, right? So let's forget about grandmother. So come to our mother and father. So in that generation, how the filters are there? Ganga water filter. You used to listen this thing, right, in childhood. Okay, so the pipes in the filter. So down all the filtered water will come. Have you remembered that thing, that kind of filter concept?
Yes, yes.
Okay, but what is nowadays? All is electronic, right? AquaSure, AquaGuard. So it will also, so filter is also capable of killing germs which are not visible to the human. Right? Am I right? So the filter concept is developed in the same way.
Yeah, to avoid human made making mistakes.
Human made.
Error.
In this Sarlet terminology or coding terminology, so to avoid cross-cutting concerns. What is cross-cutting concerns? So this is cross-cutting concern. So suppose if I want to write this 10 lines of code in every Sarlet, so it is lot of lines of code will be increased and a lot of burden also, right, to maintain those 10 lines. Okay, suppose if I made some changes in those 10 lines to one of my Sarlet, it won't execute, right? That is human error. To avoid all these things, so write a filter. Write a filter and write your common code in that filter and make that filter pluggable to all the Sarlet. So every request coming to the Sarlet needs to travel from the filter. Okay, have you understood? Now I will show you how to configure that filter concept to my Sarlet. How to do? Okay. Or else can we stop the session now? Can we discuss this filter tomorrow? Only configuration. Have you got knowledge what is filter? Knowledge on what is filter?
Yes, yes. Yes, I am clear.
Okay, fine. So it is filter is a beautiful concept for cross-cutting concerns in software industry. So every language every technology is having filter concept. Like not only Java, it also have .NET, C#, C++. Bipin, are you aware in C++ are we having
No.
filter?
I do not. I mean, I do not aware of it.
Maybe it should have, right? So the concept is the same thing. So every technology need to have this kind of concept. Not filters. The wording might be changed, like interceptors. Okay, interceptor. So you have to remember this word interceptor. Whereas coming to in structs 2, okay, so there won't be any filter kind of thing. So so it's a framework. So they are naming it as an interceptor. Okay, we'll discuss in while we are discussing framework. Okay.
Okay.
So go through all the things what we discussed now. Okay, cookies and session management. Go thoroughly, because without these basic knowledge, you can't go to frameworks. So frameworks are built upon basics. Okay, go through all these things. Try more examples. You have to get exceptions while you are trying. If you are not getting exceptions, you won't learn the concept. You have to get exceptions. So if you got any exceptions, any kind of exceptions, any kind of issues while you are developing a samples. Okay, please let me know.
Hello.
Okay, I won't solve that issue. I will make you to solve that issue. Okay, solving that issue is very simple to me. So making the issue solved by you is very difficult. I will make you like that. Okay, if you got any exception, please let me know. Any configuration issue, so those kind of things. Okay, so I think all aware of this Eclipse tool, right?
Yes.
Fine, that is fine. That is enough for us. Okay, so bye guys. Let's meet tomorrow.
Hello. Hello.